Ladies and gentlemen, it is still the 18th, and I don't know why I'm filming this part, but let me tell you, mistakes were made. That mistake is coming here in flip-flops. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm taking a long weekend. I don't usually have this opportunity, so I thought I could order and go pick up the wood tomorrow. So I kind of want to cut that chunk out, see how thick I've got, what I need to get, and then I can kind of work on it from there. But as soon as I took my first step, I thought, oh no. And now here I am. And the other bummer is I just uploaded the videos from earlier today. So this will be an addendum to the next batch, whenever that will be. So here's what I don't want. I don't want to break my $4 from Ross flip-flops. And I'm going to try and walk out of here barefoot. Oh, that'd be terrible. Over here should be fine. It's only real bad right over there. So, all this crap out of the way. Okay, it's a little rough right there. I might go change my shoes. This is stapled down. Everyone, zoom in a bit. Every one of those real dark little spots is a staple. That's fine when you're putting it down. That's garbage when you got to pull it up because they're like every 3 inches or something like that. And they're tiny, itty bitty. They're long, but they're thin and don't have a very big profile. So they're a pain to pull out. I don't know for 100% what's under here, right? I don't know if we're running this way or what. I don't know. I know it's cement under there. I felt it when I was poking around. But what I think I'm going to do, if I can get a decent idea of what the thickness of this stuff is, I think I'm just going to get one of my circular saws and we'll just cut right on the inside of that seam right there and right there. This piece is chewed up, but it's not bad. I'm not worried about that. And it's not too bad over here. Everything that came up was just what was stuck to the glue. Over there is real bad. And I don't want to... It's not going to be more work to do this half with that half. It'll be just as much work to do the whole thing as it is just that little bit by the time I cut it and take it all out. So that's what we're going to do. Step 1, I got to try and get out of here without sticking to the floor. Step 2, we'll be back. Step 1. Missing a saw. How did I do that? The one I'm missing is the one I wanted to use, man. It might be out there. Nope, there it is. This guy. No. This guy. I have to put those knee pads back on, I think. Not really looking forward to that. Okay. That's a little better. All right, so tape measure. When's last I saw you there? Oh, God. So bad. Need some light there, camera. What do you guys see? Look like 3/8 to you? I should like lay on it, but I don't want to. What if we go this way? Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that because I can't see it from where I'm positioned. I'll look at that and be right back. Jeez Louise. I couldn't see a damn thing. So, plan B. Plan B. Sometimes I have a little bit of scrap in here. Not any of that. Not that. Just the asshole put that pipe right there. Jeez. Inconsiderate. Alright, so what we can do. This pegboard here. See that? I mean, maybe you can't quite tell because of the shine from the thing. We'll build it from there. It's 1/4 inch. 1/4, half, 3/4, 4/4. So somewhere, my flash is still on. I think in the outdoor scrap pile, I've got a piece or two of pegboard. Just some small bits. Yeah, right back there. Right back there. Alright, what's the deal here? Tape measure is not wanting to cooperate. Oh, it's because there's a thing there. That's water. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Oh, I was afraid of that. Okay. Change of plans. We're going to cut 2 square pieces off of this. And then we'll stack them. And if it takes 2 pieces, that's a 1/2 inch. If 2 is a little too much, then it's 3/8. If 2 is not quite enough, it's 5/8. Or the appropriate 16th, 3/16, 5, 7, 9, etc., etc. I still didn't grab a goddamn pencil. God damn it. What a jerk. Alright, give me a second. I'll cut a couple pieces off of this. Make sure you have your speed square handy. It helps. Okay. Look. You have 3/4 inch blocks right there. That means that's 3/4 of an inch, give or take. All right. So we've got a clean-ish spot to work on. 1, not enough. 2, calling it 2. 3, way too much. Because I can, if I have 2, go right over the top. 3, can't do that. 1/2 inch. Okay. So what I need to do over here take the battery out of the saw first, because I don't really feel like keeping it on my lap with the power turned on. Where is my depth on this thing? Right back here. I'm usually cutting big stuff, so don't worry about it. Now, on my guard here, it's listed, whoop, not there, sorry. So we get that down. Sorry, I don't mean to keep doing that. Get this down to about the 1/2 inch mark. Right there. All right, it's pretty close. Lock it in place. Grab tape measure. Okay. It's just slightly more than 1/2. That'll be fine. So can't obviously get right up to the wall with this. I don't need to. I'm just going to go along that seam and then along that seam as close as I can. We'll come in from each side maybe 1 inch. If there is something structural there it's attached to, we'll miss it. If I don't miss it, we're just going to nick the very top of it. And since we're going to have to replace some of it anyway, I am worried about it. Okay. So what we've done is a little technique called a plunge cut, which you pull the guard back, you start the saw, and then you bring it down to your work and go. And you can't get, into all the tight places with a circular saw, but that's really good enough for what we needed. Somewhere. Pry bar. Hammer. Speaking of hammers, I went looking for a nice fancy hammer to do some of this work. DeWalt, God love him. DeWalt makes a framing hammer. It's like $65. Stanley makes a framing hammer, almost identical, $32. Buy the Stanley if you're gonna buy one. So this shouldn't break like that. I got some tar paper on the bottom of it. At least that's something. Okay, so just under it, it's just some more tongue and groove and a planking. Okay. think I can work with that. I don't know why there's such a big chunk missing from right there, but that's cement. Or cement. If you're a Tommy Silva fan, we call it cement. Because, like, you don't need all those letters. You really don't. And there are some who say that cement is just as good. Not England, though. They're having some problems with their cement. Their concrete. Schools are falling down, man. Because after World War II, well, we over here in America, we're driving Cadillacs, swimming pools, and movie stars, and the nuclear family with a pot in every chicken, right? Things were not going so well over in England. Like, they were on rations still up until like the end of the 50s or something. It was real bad. And they had to rebuild everything, and they wanted it done quick. So they used this like lightweight cement, and it's supposed to last 30 years. And here we are like 70 years later. All the buildings are falling down. Anyway, give me a little bit. I'll get this cleaned up. I'll see what we got to work with. If that is cement down there, I'm pretty okay with it. Kind of. Okay. So, here's what we got. 1/2 inch OSB on top of 1/2 inch plywood on top of this. Not 100% sure. There's staples in there. I'm not 100% sure what all that is. And that's running on top of these, which I don't think is attached to anything. Which, I mean, it's okay. It's structural in a sense. So what I think I'm going to do, we've got this hole opened up here, and I've got a little bit opened up there. So what I'm going to do is basically from that stove outlet, now that I know it's down there, I'm going to get my Sawzall, and we'll cut along that line all the way over to the wall and that way. We'll take up this whole chunk. I'll get some accurate measurements as to the dimensions of this stuff. That is cement all the way over. We'll put a new piece of that in. Might get that ramjet after all. We'll nail it down. I don't know yet. But I'm thinking there's going to be one there. There might be one here. It's either boom, 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 or it's going to be boom, boom. Whatever it is, we're going to put one there. We'll put a piece in the middle. We'll put a piece on the end. Okay? And then I've got 1 inch of floor, minimum, probably 1.5 inches to replace with this. So we were talking, what, 6, we're rounding one up to 7, so 13 sheets of whatever dimension we ended up getting, which is 1/2 inch. So now we're going to add to that. We could do 2 3/4, because I'm assuming that's 1.5 inches. 3/4 is very expensive. 3/4 is very heavy. And if this piece isn't going to be all that big, we'll get 2 more sheets of 1/2, and that'll be enough to just build this up, laminate it up again till it's level with everything else. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I can live with this. It concerns me a little bit that this guy is kind of weebly wobbly. So that's why we're just going to cut, replace, patch, because when we put the new subfloor down, it will attach a 4-foot by 8-foot piece. They're running them this way. I'm going to run my new floor this way, opposite of this. This makes it a little more rigid. Yeah, that's not terrible. Like I said, it ain't bad, but I can work with that. I want to know where all the rest of this went. Because it ain't there, and it ain't in there. There was a hole there. So, that's been there for a minute. Anyway, there's your update for Sunday. It's the one downside. 77.6 at 6:30. There. Now you know. It is now my intention to go and play video games for several hours. You betcha. Happy Monday. What do we got? 10 to 11. 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. And, well, good news, bad news. Good news, I got the hole cut. Bad news, it's wet down there. Like, I can smell how wet it is. And you see there's a nice fault line. So water's getting in from there. Right there is my guess, is the worst of it. And I think it's coming from... See my neighbor's irrigation box right there? Well, they flood it, and it floods the whole alley. It's still even a little wet right there. And I think it's just seeping. I think we got some seepage, ladies and gentlemen. Ugh. Which means this project just got longer and more expensive. So probably gonna need to take the whole subfloor out, because I cut all this, right? There was a board right there. You can almost see the line where it was sitting. And the one against the wall, it just crumbled. Just turned to powder. So it's been wet and dry and wet and dry and wet and dry and wet and dry enough that it just disintegrated. It's not great. It's not great. And this is the worst corner, and it's the one nearest that irrigation box. So I don't know who I'm going to have to talk to about that. They need to, I mean, even if this was not a situation, they need to not be doing that anyway. So, don't know what this means. Because if I just seal this spot, it's going to come up other places. It's probably this whole wall. It's going to need it done. So that's fun. Original plan was basically get it to this and replace that board, glue them down, floor. I could put pressure treated wood down there. That would help with the mold and mildew issue down there in those boards. But unless, you get a full, complete, like, vapor and water barrier, it's never going to stop. So that's kind of where we're at. And there is I think I talked about it, a sealer you put on and you roll on with a roller that would help mitigate some of this. I probably would need to come up the wall, probably a foot from that corner, and do the whole exterior as well. This side specifically, but, wouldn't hurt to do the whole thing, I guess. Because you see there's a bit of a gap there. Right there. So that will all need addressed. I'm not pleased, to say the least. Not pleased. I mean, we'll keep it exposed for a little while. I hate to put too much more time in between what I'm doing and what I need to do. But the next time they water, I'll come out and check, and I'll know they're like, well, it's probably from you. Well, I haven't watered like all year. My nearest box is over there, and I didn't even know it was a valve, like an irrigation valve, till 3 months ago. I've never opened it to do any sort of irrigation. So that ain't me. Ain't me doing that. And these guys next door over there, they don't do that. And these guys on the corner and these people on this side don't do that. It's this house right there. Are the only ones that do that. So I don't really know. To be continued, I suppose.